Lots to unpack. Royal Rumble is shaping up to be like the Royal Rumble from 2001. Just how many stars are in it and how many different agendas are in the Rumble, how many stories that can be taking place in the Rumble. And the ones, and like, you have people who have their own individual vendettas. You have people with their own different motives. Everybody wants to be champion. I like the vibe that's going around. Monday Night Raw this week was in San Jose, California. They're still in the West Coast. You know, last week they was in Los Angeles. Still in the West Coast. Might as well make those rounds around. Might as well. You're there. The crowd was great. This show was a statement by WWE. It was a statement. And the statement is, I can take a superstar that you're not using anymore, and I can bring them over here, and I can turn them into a fucking megastar. Penta came out and he looked as if he belonged there. You got that vibe from him that he belonged there. He had a great match with Chad Gable, and that does nothing to hurt Gable because he's one of the best in-ring workers this world has ever seen. So it doesn't damage Gable. I was worried at first because I was like, I don't want to see Gable lose if you're trying to build him up to win the U.S. title this year. But this right here was the perfect, like, opponent for Penta. Gable worked over his legs so you can stop that high flying. Penta was doing crazy shit. Now, the scary part of in that match is when he did when he goes to the ropes and he jumps over the top ropes. Chad wasn't there to catch him. And this man just fell to the floor. And I think he hit his head on the floor. And ever since I seen Bandito, I get a little weary. But Penta got up. He was okay. He did a Mexican destroyer. Not a Canadian destroyer, a Mexican destroyer. And that shit looked good. The way that Chad Gable sold that pile driver, it was like a spike pile driver. And he just laid there on the fucking ground. I was like, man. They got 2 "This is awesome" chants. The crowd is in San Jose, so you know the Latino bride is in that area. It was the perfect place to debut this man. This man's family in the front row. His daughter is just bawling, crying because she's happy for her dad. He's happy that his family, his friends can be there to see this. This man beat an Olympian in a great match. This is how you debut somebody. And when he got the pinfall, Michael Cole said, "Welcome to the big times, Penta." And yes, welcome to the big time. Yo ass, you wouldn't have gonna have a career like this in AEW. It's amazing to see, and to the people, even the people over in AEW. I listened to The Observer last night, and Dave Meltzer said that people in AEW was tweeting out to Penta how happy they are for him, how glad they are to see him over there getting this opportunity. This was a big-time opportunity right here. The way that they brought Penta in is kind of similar to how they brought Rey Mysterio in the first time. This guy got the music, the pyro, everything to make this man look like a big star. You know, this man's merchandise sold out at San Jose. They released his merchandise before he even debuted. Mask, t-shirts. Those masks are going to sell quick. And all of this stuff AEW had at their disposal, and they failed. Do you think people like Wardlow, Hobbs, I don't even care if he's getting a match with Moxley this week. He's gonna fucking lose. It don't matter. But you think these people that's over there that's not being used, the Ricky Starks, the Britt Bakers, the just whoever, just pick a name, Miro's over there, the way that they treat Buddy Murphy over there, Aleister Black. Well, yeah, I should say Aleister Black because he's done over there in AEW. The reports last week came out that he's done and that he's going to be coming to WWE. Now, that's another person that they're going to welcome back into the family. Come on back. Another one of Triple H's boys coming right on back. And good. They need to. You can't sit there and tell me that the people over in AEW, when they seen Penta on TV, can't tell me that, man, I gotta get out of this contract before it ends because I'm not getting noticed. What good is getting paid all of this money to stay home when you can't do the thing that you want to do? And Penta came out and got that reaction like he got last night, a superstar reaction. He already got the Latinos. He already got them. Bring him in. Bring him on. That man can represent all of them. That could be your next, person to represent the Latinos. And I'm all for it. I like Penta. I like them. And I feel so bad for Ray Phoenix. His brother had to see his brother out there get that type of treatment. Meanwhile, this man got to wait 9 months. That shit is unfair. But Tony Khan, boy, but this show was great. They're in San Jose. Bailey was there. We start the show off by CM Punk. I like the shot from, like when they do the shot from the outside and they follow the wrestler through the arena. That way you can hear the chants before they even come out. And these folks are seeing them. And they can't wait to hear that music. And Punk pulled in the truck. And, he's coming out. And then when he comes out, the place goes nuts. CM Punk came out. First off, he addresses the wildfires over there in California. I send all of my thoughts and prayers out to the people over there in the West Coast. If you're listening over in the West Coast, I hope everyone's okay. That was some wild shit. And I hope that everyone can rebuild from this. So I send my thoughts out to you all. And Punk started that promo off by saying that he appreciates all the firefighters and all the people who are fighting this natural disaster and things like that. And I do the same. But then he said, the Royal Rumble is coming up. And he said a person who you can't see said that he's going to be in the Rumble. So then CM Punk announced that he will be in the Rumble. Another star. Let's throw him out there. Another star. Seth comes out wearing shades. He's not wearing a goofy outfit. He's semi-serious, wearing a black suit. Takes off his glasses. Got that shiner from last week, from those GTSs. And he says that last week's loss to CM Punk was the worst in his career. He won't be able to bounce back from it. Saying he's like, I had loss in my career, losing main events, matches, titles, but the loss to you is one that I cannot get over. He's like, I underestimated you and you beat me and I can't get over that shit. I ain't done with you, nigga. Straight like that. And he was like, the only way that I can stop you is to take your WrestleMania main event away from you. So I'm entering the Royal Rumble and I'm going to throw you over the top rope and then I'm going to go to WrestleMania. Right? So they about to get into a little back and forth until, in my opinion, the MVP, Drew McIntyre comes out and he says, at first he was running down somebody and you thought that he was running down Punk. And Punk was like, look, bro, I beat you in Hell in the Cell. Like, I got nothing else to prove to you. You know what I mean? You was on your knees begging me, nigga. You know what I mean? You was on your knees begging. Man, I ain't got time for that shit, cuz. If you want to come down here and get these hands, let's go. So Drew was like, Phil, I know you want to think that everything's about you, but everything's not about you. I'm talking about Seth. And I'm like, okay, see, this is where we're going to go. So he runs down Seth. He's like, you know what I'm saying, where were you last week when Roman was getting his necklace back? You know what I'm saying? I had Jey Uso preoccupied. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, he had to focus on the match with me, but Kevin Owens came out there and gave him a stunner. Everybody was on the front line, but where were you? He has a point. He has a point. Long story short, he says that, you know, he's going to be, he said the bigger problem that everyone failed to realize is that Roman Reigns is slowly starting to come back in power, and we got to stop him. We got to put a bigger threat out the way. It's bigger than all of us. So he says that he's entering the Royal Rumble so he can stop Roman Reigns. So, man, that Royal Rumble is going to be stacked. It's going to be stacked. What a show that is, man. I cannot wait for the Rumble. Man, that show's going to be, you got, everyone has different agendas. Everyone has different agendas for this whole thing. The road to WrestleMania is looking more and more like it's going to be a wild ride because you don't know. They have so many stories, so many matches that they can do, and all of them are big-time money matches. Like, what the hell is going to happen? It's a lot of things to unpack here. But that was the opener. Stars. Bring them on in. Speaking of stars, we go to the back. We go to the back. Now, I don't know what's going to happen here. Of course, the Judgment Day is going to implode. But to see the nitpicking between Liv and Balor, it's interesting. So they go back and forth, Liv and Balor. And then, you know, Liv says that, you know, saying she took a piece of Rhea Ripley from her, and that was the whole purpose of the Revenge Tour. But Liv had a great year last year. She was the first woman to win that title over in Saudi Arabia. She was the women's world champion for nearly half that year. She had a great year. So then Dom comes in with flowers saying, you know what I'm saying, what happened at the end of the match with me trying to get with Rhea, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like that. So Liv was like, oh, Dom, it's all right. Now she's treating him like a do-boy. How about you get my bags? You know what I'm saying? Get Raquel bags, you know what I'm saying? Get the rent-a-car ready and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Be my little do-boy. And I'm like, wow. That shit was funny. And then you have then we have Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. I like Ludwig Kaiser. He's a star of the future. You know, this match was kind of like a revenge match because Ludwig, you know, took the shillelagh and beating him the fuck up when they had that triple threat match back at Survivor Series. And that put Sheamus out for like a few weeks. So this match is the get back for that. A great match. You know, every Sheamus match is going to be hard hitting, and that's what I like. And Sheamus picked up the win here. So this is only to build between him and Braun Breaker. So that match is going to happen at Saturday night's main event, which I'm sure that Braun Breaker is going to beat his ass at. Braun needs a big victory, and a big victory over a former WWE champion would do wonders for him. But then, as we go along, I'm pretty sure that they're going to give Sheamus the title at WrestleMania. We go to the back. So Seth was backstage. He was talking about next week because he just left Adam Pearce's office and he said that he wants to go up against Drew McIntyre next week because Drew came out and was running him down. So Seth's walking, runs into Sammy. Sammy says, look, man, I know you had a tough week last week and everything like that, but if you want to talk, I'm here. Seth just got tired of that shit. He was like, yeah, saying I did have a rough week last week. But what about you, though, right? You had a good week. You know what I'm saying? Your boy got his necklace back. You're helping the bloodline. What are you going to do? You're going to help him in the Rumble? He's like, when are you going to stop helping Roman and help yourself? Come on, man. Like, this man just trying to help. Karrion Kross was in there and he was talking to Adam Pearce. And apparently the Wyatts are on SmackDown now. So he came out to tell The Miz that. And while he was talking to The Miz, Sami Zayn came up. He was like, hey, is Adam Pearce in there? And then Karrion Kross just went, you know what, man? Seth was right, bro. Like, you doing all this shit for Roman, like you just following behind Roman like a old little lapdog and some shit. So they made a joke with him. I thought they were going to do Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, and I was like, please don't do that because I don't want to see Karrion lose, and I don't want to see Sami lose. So I thought that's where they were going to go. But luckily for me, The Miz was right there, and The Miz was running down Sami about how he's never going to win a world title, and that how he has 2 more world titles than Sami. And Sami was like, you know what? I was going to go in there and talk to Adam about some shit, but you want to know something? I'm going to go in there and talk to him about a match with you tonight, cuz, and I'm going to beat your motherfucking ass. Boom. I like how that was set up. They used to do stuff like that back then in the Attitude Era where they set the matches up organically like that, and they need to start doing more stuff like that. That was awesome. I like that. Then we had Oba Femi in the crowd. Gunther is my guy. Like Cam Newton's like, my guy. But Gunther's my guy. So anytime that Gunther is on TV, he's on screen, he's taken seriously because he's the world champion. He comes out there looking like $1,000,000. That gold belt is shining all throughout the frame. I was like, this is the prize here. So Gunther comes out there and he says, you know what? I watched last week on Netflix, and I got to say, I was impressed by everything. But the one thing I was not impressed with is the people on this show talking about your fucking dreams, who you with, fighting over head of tables, and all this shit right here, when the only prize that you should be worried about is the World Heavyweight Championship. Fucking right. This is what I'm talking about for my world champion. And Jey Uso came out there and interrupted him. Place went fucking nuts. They did that drone shot. You see all these people moving their hands and shit like that. I mean, come on. And the whole time this was happening, Gunther was just in the ring just looking at this nigga like, bro, really? Really, you gonna come out here and do all this shit, huh? He just stood back, and Jey was playing to the crowd. His intro, he has the best intro, I think, in wrestling. As far as crowd participation and the music and vibe and shit. Like, I be in my house like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like feel good or some shit like that. So Jey comes out completely gassed because that intro, that entrance is so high octane. He's waving his arms up every single time. He giving all that energy. So when he comes in there and does a promo, he's gassed. And I'm like, bro. And Gunther's looking at him like, the fuck's your problem, cuz? And I'm looking at it like, Gunther, I'm like, the fuck's this nigga doing out here? You know what I'm saying? He talking about something. He wants a shot at the world title at Saturday night's main event. And Gunther just dressed him down. He dressed him down. He was like, you know what? You come out here and you do this yeet shit. It's very entertaining. It's very entertaining. I like it. I like it. But you're not on my level. You're not on my level. If you can remember, we faced each other for the intercontinental title twice, and I've beaten you. He's like, to you, main event is just a nickname. To me, it is where I belong. And he was like, if you want this match at Saturday night's main event, I'm going to embarrass you and I'm going to expose you for the one-trick pony that you are and just expose you for being a really good tag team wrestler. Dressed him down. And the whole time he was talking, Uso had his head down like, damn, this man's speaking facts right now. So then Gunther gets out the ring. And then Jay gets serious. They were trying to do the yeet, but he was like, nah, chill on that. Chill on that. This is real right now. Chill on that. And they gave it to him. They didn't do it. It was like everybody is saying that, you know what I'm saying, I can't do this. Everybody's saying that, you know what I'm saying, I don't belong. This man is selling the most merch in this company. It ain't about selling t-shirts, stuff like that. I wake up every day trying to prove myself. I said, damn, I feel you. I feel you on that. It's going to be a really good competitive match. I think this will be the best match that Jey Uso, he has to. This has to be his WrestleMania main event level performance in his mind. He has to. Of course, he's not going to win, but at least I want at the end of that match, I want Gunther to kind of like show his respects or say, you know, I respect Jay. He gave me a good fight. I want that to take place. I don't want him to just go in there and just beat this man just leave him laying in the middle of the ring and for these folks to be like, oh, you did good. You did good. I don't want that. I want a good competitive match, and I really hope they give me that. But the segment, they dressed him down. Gunther dressed him, and he's so good on the promo. Gunther is a heel that you have no choice but to respect because he's just that dominant. And his words can cut. Like when he was dressing him down, I was like, damn, Gunther. Like Gunther can talk. I'm really looking forward to that match. It should be pretty good. But I just don't want them to really beat Jay to the point to where like, man, I don't want to see him no more. But like he beat Drew McIntyre last week. Roll up or not, he got the 1, 2, 3. And he beat a former world champion. So I think next week they got to give Jay another big victory over somebody for him to ultimately lose to the Ring General, my boy Gunther, at Saturday night's main event. Then we had the Lyra Valkyria Intercontinental title match. We talked about that. Hard fought match. I really like that. I give this match a 4 stars. That's what I give it. I give it 4 stars. This match is great, and you should go out your way to watch it because that match is pretty good. Then we had Miz and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn won. You know, that's all you need to know. Good win, good TV win for Sami Zayn, and they put over the fact that he won with a blue thunder bomb. Finally, he wins with a blue thunder bomb. I'm like, what? All right. So then, you know, we got Rhea Ripley. You know, she comes out saying, you know, mommy's on top, this, that, and the third. She got interrupted by Nia Jax because Nia was there to talk to Adam Pearce about the trade deadlines. Came out there and she was basically saying that, you know, there's no woman on this roster who can do anything with her, you know, saying she's dominant, she's this, she's that. And then she looks out into the crowd and she sees Bayley because Bayley is from San Jose. And you got to think Bayley was probably there to talk to Adam Pearce about the trade deadlines. So Nia was like, you would be from this dump ass town. Like, she was running them down, trying to get that heat. So Bayley gets in the ring and says, you know what? This might not be my show, but you ain't finna talk shit about my town. So they all get into a kerfluffle. Nia gets out the ring, starts walking to the back. And then Bayley was about to pick up the Women's World Championship. But then Rhea beat her to the punch, so you know that's where they're going with next. So, like, when would that happen? Like, when would that happen? If she's doing all of that. So you got to think that a match with Rhea Ripley for the world title is coming soon. Main event time. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest in a street fight. Before the match even started, Damian Priest was throwing all these chairs, and he already had a kendo stick in the ring, and he was waiting for Finn Balor, and then Balor got the drop on him. You never see that's Damian Priest's fault. He should have been paying attention, and his ass got the drop put on him. But this match was really good. It surprised me because if you see a street fight, you already know how all that stuff's going to go. They're going to be put through tables and chair shots, kendo shots, all of that. But everything was nice. I liked it. The War Raiders came out. Damian Priest got the win. So that ends his feud with Finn Balor. Just end it off. And now Damian Priest can go on to the Royal Rumble. Now, where does he go from here? Because the same thing can be said about Rhea, because she's been to the hip with Dom so long that it's kind of like, okay, where do you go from here now? So, good, solid show. Great, solid show. I will give this show 3.5 stars. I thought it was really good. It was a really good show. That women's intercontinental title match was really good. Like, you really got to go out your way to watch that. That was really good. That was a really good match. The stories that they have still to be told. The Royal Rumble is looking stacked. Penta proves that if you believe, get out your situation. AEW is just not going to, they can't recover from this. And this night was literally, I'm finna make your guy that you had over here in 20 minutes. Penta looked better than those years he spent in AEW. And that man was with AEW from the fucking beginning. And he never went nowhere. They never went nowhere. Meanwhile, this man comes over here, and in 5 minutes, this man is a fucking star. So, Tony, you in trouble. You are in trouble, Tony. You better figure it out. You better figure it out, Tony. I don't know if you can. But it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you. Well, that was Monday Night Raw on Netflix, episode 2. Like, subscribe, show some support for your boy. And always remember, if I never see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'll catch you down the road.